What's wrong with you, bro? Why you ain't just wait till I leave and then do this, man?
Hold on, let me go back to the house and see if I can find my manhood. I'm like,
we on.
Yeah.
Welcome back, bro. What's good?
Welcome back, everybody. What's up? What's up? What's up? We back at it again. Yeah. So
what's popping, man? How was your weekend?
Oh man, my weekend was good this time.
This time, what you do?
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, the Marvel movie, all Asian cast. It came out, so I went to go see it by myself.
By yourself?
I don't care. They're like, dude, you gonna go watch it by yourself? I'm like, yup.
What was it about, the movie?
It's a Marvel movie, so it's a superhero movie.
So finally, this is probably the first time
all Asian
Marvel
cast
made an all Asian cast.
Yeah. Now Marvel Comics back in the day, they had a comic called Shang-Chi.
I think the comics might have started in Asia.
Marvel. Stan Lee was the one who started all that.
Yes.
You know, Stan Lee.
Yes.
Dude, that old man was a genius.
Asian?
No, Stan Lee. Yeah, you thought that's what I thought too when I heard the name, because it was a Lee, Asian name. No, he was a white comic.
Wow.
He's a creator of all the Marvel all the Marvel comics.
Big. So how was the movie? Dope.
But he was not.
Yes.
Stan Lee cared about every race, and
dope.
All his superheroes and even villains is based off of like the trials and tribulations in his life.
Okay.
Like the Hulk. The Hulk is, you know how he turns into a big green monster?
Yes, that must be when he get drunk.
Or no, whenever he just had rages, he just want, like when he gets angry, that's how he
I
felt.
used to turn to the Hulk, man. Once I get that Hennessy stuck for the lie in me, bro.
I try to turn into Hulk, but it always turned yellow. I don't know why, man. It's just no, but Shang-Chi was a really good movie, man. All Asian cast. It's about actually, you first heard about the 10 Rings in Iron Man. Iron Man 2.
I don't really watch, honestly.
Yeah.
No, but it's good to learn something. My kids probably know. I don't really
now
watch
I'm schooling
movies
you
and
to help you, you know.
You know what I mean? I'm a type of documentary type of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but then
it's
like
good to know.
Shang-Chi, and then like I'm loving how Marvel is bringing like
different races.
Like Black Panther.
The Black Panther.
Yeah.
You mentioned something to me, man, that they were supposed to do Black Panther in 1992.
Yeah, originally Wesley Snipes was trying to do Black Panther. This is before he did the Blade trilogies and all that.
So they took it from him?
No. So what happened was in '92, Wesley Snipes actually was trying to do it with John Singleton. You know, one of the greatest,
of course,
black directors of all time as well. You know, and they tried to do it back in '92.
Yes.
And you know how racist Hollywood is. Oh yeah, we'll do it.
But they couldn't
put
accept
it in the
back
shelf,
then.
and then they try to like avoid it.
Yes.
And then Stan Lee came on the project as well, and they tried to do it again. And I believe it like in '96 they tried to
still wasn't ready.
But then they brought up a good point. You know, at the time, Black Panther, they didn't know the comics yet. So if they saw a movie called Black Panther, they're gonna think it's the Black Panther
connected to the Black Panther. All that time, I was thinking it was connected to the Black Panther.
Exactly. That's the reason why they didn't do it then.
I see.
And then Wesley Snipes got locked up for not paying his taxes. Remember that? Those I think like 2-3 years he went to jail.
Oh man.
And then by the time he got out, that's when Marvel Universe happened, and they actually talked about bringing Black Panther back.
So did Wesley Snipes benefit from it?
No, he didn't. Wesley Snipes actually tried to get back on it, but because of the jail time he did, they said no.
See, that's why, man, folks, and you gotta say, man, this is my work.
Yeah.
Even if you in the grave, your family should be able to benefit from it.
But technically, it wasn't his work. It was Stan Lee's.
Oh, so he was just going to be one of the actors.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was trying to be King T'Challa, you know. Which is the Black Panther.
I seen it. I think I might have watched. You know,
I know you've heard it too.
Yeah, some stuff I was feeling, but you know, I'm still going through like, man, that shirt. You know what I mean? You know, when a Muslim watch something, we be picking stuff out like, oh, they trying to get our people to worship their ancestors, man. You know, I got time for all that.
Us ex-military dudes.
Yeah,
when we watch military movies, we'll be like, hey, that rank is upside down. Why is that upside down? You know, we'll be pointing stuff out too. Yeah. No, but then that movie.
So you enjoyed yourself.
That's my daughter's favorite movie.
Dope.
Black Panther.
Dope. How's your daughter doing? Your son? How they doing?
They doing really well. You know, I try to teach him well.
Amazing.
I try to teach him from the lessons that I learned or the bad stuff that happened to me growing up. You know,
for sure. Yes.
Like with my parents and stuff. You know, like my father. Like he was a very abusive man. You know,
to you or to
me and to well, I already told you he used to whoop my butt for getting A-. You know.
But you know, I got to keep it real.
He used to beat my mom.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
And remember I think 2 episodes ago, we talked about how when I went to prison because of that.
Yes.
That's because it reminded me of my father. You know,
so he used to abuse your mother.
He used not abuse her. He used to beat her.
Damn, bro.
Like beat her. Like, because he's an old school Korean type.
That's like the Korean mentality.
Whatever I say goes.
Wow.
And then if you don't listen, you know, I smack you around. But he did more than smacking around. And then
oh man,
with
in
that,
front of you.
Yeah, in front of me. And then, so I grew up watching that. And then on top of that, he used to beat the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And you know, I saw how bad of a father he was.
Yeah,
you know, and I know even in Christianity and in the
Yes.
Asian race, you
Yes.
know, we gotta always respect our elders,
Of course.
and especially your father.
Yes.
You know, it says that in the Christian Bible as well, and I'm pretty sure in the Islam
as
it
well,
says that
of
too.
course.
But
Yes.
there's a limit. You know, there's a point of no return, and reach that.
So
for me.
you're not in a relationship? You don't speak to your pops?
I do, but not like how I should as a son. You know, like I'm
Definitely.
actually very I have some feelings about that. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we
yeah,
actually
yeah,
had a falling out back a while back.
Well, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, bro, you know, he's your father. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
You know what I mean. We can't. What he was, of course, wrong. Any man that's abusing a woman, putting their hands on a woman, to me, this not aimed at your father. You know what I mean? This aimed at any men in general. That's coward stuff.
That's
not at
exactly-
your father, but I'm talking about any man
No,
that
he
got to
is,
whoop
though.
a woman.
He's a
Any
coward,
man that
too.
got to whoop a woman is a coward.
When you
know what I
can't
mean?
take care of your woman, you're
Yes.
a coward.
For sure.
And he
So-
did that. Like when
Yes.
my mother, she actually came out with urinary gland cancer.
But don't talk bad about your father.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he's still your father.
He is.
It's-
He is.
The situation
what
is
I am
complicated.
because, you know,
The situation
I'm
is
here.
complicated. He is your father.
Yep.
Ain't no telling what he was going through, but I'm not making excuses. But reach out to him, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
you know, I'm like
People
you.
change.
I'm like you.
You know
You
what
know,
I mean?
the most important people in my life growing up was the women. You know, my mom.
Of course.
You know,
Yes,
and
yes, for
like
sure.
she had urinary gland cancer, which is basically throat cancer.
Yes.
Not because of smoking, but it's just
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, we're
the
inshallah.
environment.
You know, it was
The environment,
God.
the will of Allah.
It was a test. You know,
How is she now, your mother?
She's good now, but when she was going through stage 3 chemotherapy, you know, when you go
Yes.
through stage 3 chemotherapy, you know, you're weak. You can't do nothing.
Yeah. Oh,
And
man.
you can't even feed yourself. And she had to feed herself because my dad up and wanted to go to Korea
While
for
she was
fun.
Wow.
Instead of taking care of my mom during chemotherapy.
You don't have any other siblings?
I do. I have a brother, and my brother he tried to do as much as he can.
He's
but
older than you
He
or
has
younger?
his family too. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's way older than me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
sad though, bro.
You know,
what I mean?
but still, you know,
For sure.
she shouldn't have to rely on my brother. She
Of
should
course,
rely
if
on
she
her
have a
husband.
Yeah, real talk.
So
real
because
talk.
of that, yeah, you know, like again, I'm not talking bad about my dad,
for sure.
but I did learn what I don't want to become.
From your
you know,
kids,
yeah.
how you exactly.
You know,
And that's one of the
So-
things we benefit with. You know, our life, we able to raise our kids differently than the way we was raised.
Yes,
I look at a
sir.
person that's successful if he can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
Thank God my
absolutely.
kids and our kids, they don't know about that life. That
Alhamdulillah.
means we did a good job. Some ignorant people, they be, huh, son?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they think that's cool. They think that's how you make a man. Actually, you don't even know how to be a man, and you treating your kid like this. You know what I mean? Or here, son, take this gun, let's do this, or take these drugs. You hear stories where kids, so-called fathers, are proud to invite their kids to ignorance.
yeah.
You hear stories where they like, man, I did my first drive-by shoot with my father. Like, is that something to be proud of, that you bringing your son to this? So I look
Absolutely.
at it, man. If you raise your kids better than the way you was raised, that's being a successful parent.
You know,
You know what I mean?
with that being said, what you just
Yes.
said right there,
Yes.
it reminds me. And one day you got to look up the lyrics to the
Okay.
song. It's
Yes.
by Joyner Lucas. You know, I talked about Joyner Lucas before.
Yes.
He made a controversial song and a music video called "I'm Not Racist."
Okay.
Phenomenal song. Like literally, you get chills, regardless
Okay.
if you're white or black or
Yeah,
yellow
yeah.
or
So
red
I
or
got-
green.
He know I don't listen to music, so he asked me to look up the lyrics because I could read lyrics.
Yeah,
It
you
ain't
got to
hot
read
out.
the lyrics because what he did is he portrayed the first verse
Yes.
as a white man.
Okay.
What white people would think about black people, all the stereotypes, and then vice versa. But
Interesting.
there's a
Yeah,
line
yeah.
in there. He's like, "Dang, Chris, how'd it go? Like,
Big
you
Chris
teach it
too
to your
big
kids,
be
and the
Chris.
cycle continues."
Yeah.
That's
You gotta-
exactly
that cycle.
that-
Like, you got to
when you were
break
talking
that,
about
that
that.
curse, that cycle curse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you know what I mean. I grew up. You know what I mean. Where I can look at my uncles. They wasn't street dudes. You know what I mean. I had one cousin. He was like an uncle to me. Called him Snag because he snag a tooth. He got his tooth knocks out. He was a street dude to the point where I'm from Irvington, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Nobody in Irvington High School, from what we knew, can beat him. And then he got hooked on drugs. But even while he was on drugs, he was good with these hands.
He can still scrap.
So that's the furthest I seen my family go into the streets. I come from a good family, thank God.
Yeah.
I think my generation, my brothers and my cousins, we was the ones that went from, you know, all my family, my uncles and my aunts, they all was married. Yeah. They all got education. They all went to school. We went from, you know, following that footsteps to getting misguided in the streets because we grew up in a crack era. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I'm sure my parents, our uncles, they wasn't expecting to one day open the door and you see mummies damn near walking down the street. Yeah. You know what I mean? So especially we grew up in that crack era. Yeah, especially on the East Coast. So we grew up in the crack era. So we pretty much was the first ones going down that route. You know what I mean? Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately.
We all went through that. I mean, it's a little bit better now on both East Coast, West Coast. For sure. There's still stuff like that out there, you know?
But that crack era, I don't think nobody expected. It rocked. It
hit like a hurricane.
Yeah, it rocked the neighborhoods.
Out of nowhere.
Up. Yeah.
It just shows up and then boom, you know?
It rocked neighborhoods, man. Crazy, bro.
But like with that parents, I mean, I know you had good parents, even though you didn't get to know them that long because they passed away. Like, tell me, we all want to know that story, like exactly what happened. Like,
you know, the crazy part, man. When it comes to my mother, father, I hear so many different stories. You know, it's stuff that's online that I read, and they, you know, one guy, he's arrested. One of the killers, he was basically saying that my father was with a friend of his. Yeah. My father used to sell diamonds. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how he was only 26, 27 years old. Him and his crew was slinging diamonds. So they go to these jewelers downtown Manhattan, Miami. My family used to say he'd travel all over America, Los Angeles, and he'd be hustling these diamonds. And from what I read online, who knows if it's true or not, because if you can kill a whole family and you know what I mean, in front of their kids, then most likely you a rat. Ain't no telling what, you can't believe what you say. You know what I mean? But this individual claimed that, you know, he got to an incident where a dispute over how they're supposed to share the profit of one of the diamond sales. So my father happened to be with the guy that he got into a dispute with, and he claimed the guy pulled out a gun and shot him. My father was there. Mm-hmm. But then later on, he said that he decided to pay people to kill my father, which makes me say, okay, what happened to the guy that shot you? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So something ain't adding up.
Yeah.
So you know, the sad part from what I know from my uncles is that the person, you know, as an American and culture, Christianity culture, we have godparents. Mm-hmm. So the main guy whose name was Dawood in Arabic, because they all was once in the Nation of Islam, and then they, like my parents was once in the Nation of Islam, and then when Malcolm X left the Nation of Islam, my parents followed them and became Muslim. So they all had these Arabic names. So Dawood, who was my father's friend since they was like 16, 14, 15 years old, he used to sleep at my grandmother's house. So he come to the house, you know, my father, that's his homie. So he let him in the house, opened the door. The only thing I remember from that day is that I was on his lap. I just remember pushing me off violently. That's all I remember. You know what I mean? My brother Mooney remembered more than all of us. He, to the point when he went to court, he was like, yeah, that's the dude that killed my mother and father right there. He remembered, you know what I mean? To the point my brother, like I could talk about this story, but whenever I'm with my brother Mooney, he just don't talk about it. You know what I mean? Because I guess he really, you know what I mean? Yeah. He really traumatized. And, you know, one day I had a conversation with him. He's like, man, you don't know, you know, what I really was going through. I just didn't tell nobody my whole life, but it really affected me. And then my brother got shot. My brother was real heavy in the street. So he was like, it's not just our mother and fathers. Then when I got shot in the stomach, and then also my house got shot up. Like his house got shot up 21 some time. Crazy story. So my brother, the cycle of life of violence, throughout his life. You know what I mean? So with me, I think it helped me talking about it or maybe dealing with it because I used to write about it. That was like therapy to me. I wrote about it in songs with Tupac. I wrote about it in my book. You know what I mean? I was able to get it out of my system. Mm-hmm. My brother just always never was able to talk about it. So anyway, the dude, I remember him pushing me off his lap. And then he shot my father. My father died instantly. And then Mustafa, my father had a friend named Mustafa, very close with him. But they say he was my father's bodyguard. 6 feet something, big dude. So he actually lived in the house with my parents, my father, you know. They said he was at the living room table eating because everybody comfortable. These are the homies, so nobody expecting anything.
And you at home.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So after that, they shot him, killed him, and then my mother went into survival mode. You know, love for a mother to take care of her, or to save her children, so she just went to grabbing us. My brother said he just remember my mother grabbing me and him. My brother Camille was 6 months old. I believe it was my mother because when they found him, He was in a drawer and the drawer was cracked. So he was a small baby. She put him in a drawer, cracked the drawer so he can breathe. And she started running with me and my brothers from room to room. And they shot my mother 17 times before she dropped, before she died. Because the will of a mother to protect her kids, man, that let me know how serious and strong a woman is, you know, when it comes to her babies. So my mother got shot 17 times. And when they went to court, the judge asked him, he said, were you planning to kill the kids? He said, yes, we was going to kill the kids, but we ran out of bullets shooting after the mother. You know what I mean? So this is a mother who gave her life to save her kids pretty much.
She took all the hits for you guys.
Took all the hits, man. Allah have mercy on both of them. But this one, I'm always, like a lot of people now, they see on my social media and stuff like that, that I'm always talking about my mother. You got to understand, I didn't grow up with my parents. But when you hear that your mother took 17 shots for you, you know what I mean? I'm always bigging her up. I'm always bigging her roots up. She's Puerto Rican. I'm always talking about her because this is my mother. You know what I mean? Look what she done for me. And now I plan to build a mansion in Puerto Rico on her behalf. You know what I mean? Alhamdulillah. You know what I mean?
Dang. So when did Siki die then? Or
so
how
Siki died later. So let me tell you about Siki. Siki was is me, Camille, and Mooney, same mother, same father. My father was married previously, so I had two more brothers, Sharad and Siki, from previous marriages. But from my mother, it was me, my brother, and Camille. So of course, naturally, we closest because we grew up in the same house. But all of our Siki and all of us, we known to be brothers. The way my grandmother raised us, everybody, even if you're not a relative, you need a place to stay. My grandmother, my father's mother, you welcome in our house. That's how I was raised, you know. So Siki died years later. I believe I was still rapping with Pac when he died. You know, so Siki died, unfortunately, due to suicide. You know, but when the words got back to us, we thought that it
was a hit?
We thought he was jumped because they found the door was open. You know, my uncle Sammy, I guess he panicked and hid the gun. So when they took him to the hospital, he didn't want to say, "Oh, I found the gun." You know, panicking. You know how it is in Jersey.
And as a black man, you're a suspect
automatically suspect. So he hid the gun.
I don't blame him.
And they thought that the way the bullet went in his head, it wasn't leaking any blood. It was just swollen. So the doctors were saying it seemed as if he got jumped, but it looked like he got hit with, you know, some sharp objects, whether a bat or a pipe or whatever.
Or got stabbed or something.
So then later they found out he committed suicide. This is what they say. I think one of my cousins said she might have found a suicide note. You know, it's weird, bro, because I still don't believe it. You know what I mean? There's a side of me that knows my brother. Like, man, how can he commit suicide? But you know what I mean? It's one of them things God knows best. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I always wanted to know that about Siki.
Yeah. So they say he killed himself, man. So
because one of my favorite songs that I always listen to, even though to the new kids is old, is Outlaws and Tupac, Good Die Young.
Yeah, and I think somebody said rest in peace to Siki, right?
You did.
Yeah.
You said rest in peace to your
but
mother.
I think Edie, and the rap. But I think one of the songs,
and then
Pac and Edie shouted them out.
They shouted them out too.
I mean?
You know,
So Siki, you know, the crazy part when he died, I felt guilty a little bit because he kept trying to come to L.A. Like, I mean, I already had my little brother Camille with me in L.A., and he kept saying, I want to come to L.A. with you. And I never got around to ask Pac, like, look, my brother Siki want to come. You know what I mean? So he kept saying, I want to get out of Jersey. So I've always said, damn, but we know now whatever's written for you is written for you. You can't escape death. You know what I mean? But back then I was blaming myself a little bit. Like, man, if I would have got him, he kept begging me to come, and I just ignored him, unfortunately.
And then, of course, as family, you're gonna blame yourself at the time too. Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah. But your grandmother, she sounds like Big Mama. Do you call her Big Mama? Or?
No, I call her Grandma, but she was Big Mama. You know, Big Mama, man. I'm talking about the real lady make that macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
These grandmothers don't exist no more.
With the slippers and
these grandmothers don't exist. The grandmothers now put everything in the microwave.
Yeah.
I come from the era where we baked macaroni and cheese.
There was no microwave back in the day, right?
It wasn't.
Yeah, they didn't even invent that yet.
But my grandmother, man, I'll tell you about my grandmother.
This is the same grandma that you've been posting pictures that Mike wants a photo
No, I only post, you know, most of the time when I post pictures, it's crazy because I have more pictures of my mother's mother than I have with my grandmother, who pretty much raised me, which is my father's mother. So my father's mother is Mary Clark, you know. She raised me. I lived in the house with her, even though, weekends I would go to my grandparents, my Puerto Rican side of the family. But my grandmother is the one who raised us, me and my brothers.
Mary Jenkins?
Mary Clark.
Mary Clark.
And I have a whole chapter in my book, Life is Raw, about her. Because this woman was a phenomenal person, man, where to the point that, like, real talk, I never heard her, like, say a cuss word. I'm not joking, bro. I never heard a cuss word come out of her mouth. Mm-hmm. She would raise her voice a little bit and the whole house was shut down because we know she angry. Yeah. So she was just a very good woman, man. Like, you know what I mean? Just a good person, originally from West Virginia. So she took care of not only me and my brothers, she took care of my cousins was in the house, Sharif, Roddy, Maurice, Samira, me, Mooney, Camille, like 7 or 8 of us bad kids. Yeah. Like when I talk about we was bad kids, bro, I remember every night to go to sleep, it was a fight. Yeah. Like we was crazy. Like my cousin Maurice and his mother, my aunt Mackie, they would sleep in one room, and me, I think that's all the bad kids. Me, Mooney, Roddy, and Reef, we'd be in one room. My little brother Camille would sleep in the room with my grandparent. Every night, what we would do, we'd go to Maurice, and we'd all just hit him with sneakers. While he sleep. Yeah. Then we'd run back in the room, and my grandfather come up. We act like we sleep.
We act like he's he play dead.
So this is some of the drama my grandmother dealt with, and then it got to the point where we started getting to the streets. So now I remember my cousin Sharif. The first time I ever saw a gun, like besides my parents getting murdered, but the first time I ever saw a gun when I was probably 9, 10 years old
was from him, huh?
Was Sharif. He came in with the 357, and then I started seeing coke crack vials. Like he started showing me like this is what I'm selling, and then eventually I saw my brother Mooney follow his footsteps, and then Roddy, and then myself try to follow his footsteps. Then
Camille,
my brother, Camille. We all got caught up.
Dang.
We all started going to the street, but the only one who took off was my brother Mooney. He was the only one that when he became 15, 16 years old, he was probably making.
He was known.
Hundreds of thousands monthly.
Yeah.
So he became the person. Yeah, he became the man. And it almost cost him his life, multiple times. You know what I mean?
Dang. And he ended up opening platinum cuts.
He ended up opening platinum. I begged him to come to LA because what happened is my brother, when he got to that level, now envy's gonna come. Now
and you have to watch
street politics. Constantly. So what happened is, I think in my neighborhood, Irvington, New Jersey, it's sad to say that my block was the first block that I remember I used to go back and I see other homies from across the neighborhoods from different. They was like, man, but we watch you guys grow up together. Yeah. My block, they started killing each other. I don't think I ever heard in that particular time a crew or a hood turn on each other. So what happened is people that we grew up with, we had this one dude, we call him the Reaper.
Yep, I remember you talking about
We call him the Reaper. He has a reason why we call him the Reaper. Yep. So the Reaper, big dude, monster. Everybody in the neighborhood was afraid of him because he was extorting everybody, all the drug dealers. So now my brother came up. They know that they can't try that with me or my family because we come from, I'm not exaggerating, bro, but and when it's time to get down, my family is known to get down. So they knew he couldn't extort my brother. So he did it in a way where, can I borrow money? My brother said, no, I don't have it. Now, everybody know we have it because he's the man. Yeah. So then one day my brother was happening to, go in his house. And it's only a few people that know how his house is set up, his apartment. And
I remember the story,
he was married. My brother, mashallah, the one thing he did is got married when he was young. Yeah. So he was in the house with his wife, Tiffany at that time, his little daughter, Camille, my niece. Yep. And crazy, bro. His wife was like, I want to rearrange the bedroom. Imagine going home.
That day.
Wallahi, bro, that day. She said, I want to rearrange. And Mooney, my brother, told me I got into an argument with her. Like, no, why you want to change the bedroom? My brother loved to argue.
Yeah. And he likes.
He going to get mad and say, I don't let her argue.
Things the way it is.
Yeah, he's like, man, why you want to rearrange the bedroom? She like, this, whatever. He's like, okay. So remind you, his headboard of his bed used to be under the window. Yeah. In the back of his apartment. So she put the dresser there, moved the bedroom there, and they woke up to maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to gunshots. 21 bullets was in the dresser.
Where his
head was supposed to be. So we knew who it was. I was in LA with Pac at that time. I remember my brother called me furious, and he was like, you know what? They just shot my house up. It's on.
It's on.
So my brother, this story is crazy, bro. Check this out. So my brother, back in the day, there was a guy named Hacky. He was a security guard. Come to find out, he was an undercover, I think, what is it? ATF? What is this? It's a body of the government that they only track. The ATF.
Was it alcohol,
firearms, alcohol, and
alcohol,
firearms and something.
I forgot what the T stands for, but yeah, alcohol and firearm.
But you know the crazy part, he was later on I found out he was an undercover.
Oh snap!
But he was selling guns to us. This how corrupt this. He was selling us guns, bro.
Was that the undercover purpose of it though, or
I don't know if that was saying sell them the guns. Maybe that they were saying sell them the guns so we can keep track of them.
Yeah.
But he was selling us guns, and also he had a connection to bulletproof vests. So now that I know my brother about to go to war, I went to him. I said, "Hey, Hacky, man, my brother, you know, his house got shot up. I need you to give me some of these bulletproof vests. I'll buy them off you." And back then, because of the Teflon, you can just put a bulletproof vest in, you know, a suitcase and ship it. Nope, they don't see it. So, you know, I sent about 5, 6, sent it to New Jersey, and check this crazy story out, bro. Check this out. So my brother, he went, bought some bullets off the streets, everything street stuff. He went and bought the bullets. So we knew the dude who done it. So my brother, we knew that we grew up with him all our life. This is the crazy part. He used to go upstairs. I'm not mentioning no names, you know, but he used to go to his house through the back. So my brother went in the back and waited for him. When he came, doom, doom, doom. The guy got away. Like my brother was like, man, I walked straight up to him and opened fire. He got away. The next day.
Don't tell me it was.
Listen, bro. Hold on. Let me finish. So the next day, they ran up on him, but he also escaped. But this one, his windows shattered, like in the car. The bullets hit the car, but he escaped. So my brother, I think a third time he tried to, you know, hit him up again, and he escaped. So my brother went and checked the bullets and found out the bullets were blank. They was dummy bullets. So this individual get locked up. Check this out. This individual get locked up. My brother get locked up. My brother converted to Islam while he was in prison. My brother come out of the prison. He's going to a Masjid Rahman in Newark to pray. He see the same dude in the masjid. He converted to prison.
The one that tried to hit.
The one that tried to do that, and my brother tried to kill him.
Yeah. The one.
God saved both of them. Now they're in the masjid. They hugged each other. They talk because now they both Muslim. They have to let everything go.
Yo.
And even the guy, he's my homie now. He's gonna watch. We follow each other on Instagram, but I just want to protect his name.
Yeah.
But these things happen in the streets anyway. You know what I mean? So this street life politics, but we all back together now.
So that was, you know, who gave Mooney those blanks?
Allah saved Allah saved my brother from. Not only did he save his life, he also guided him. He also saved the life of the other guy. He guided both of them. You know what I mean? Because if my brother would have killed him, my brother probably would have been in prison for the rest of his life today. Or vice versa.
If Mooney's wife didn't want him to change the bed and he got shot.
Exactly. And then unfortunately, rest in peace to Mike, Allah Yarhamah, because we did have some friends that died because of this war. There was some deaths involved. And one of them, unfortunately, was a good friend of ours, a good friend named Mike. He was my OG. He accepted Islam before all of us. And because of that war, he got killed. You know what I mean? They actually came looking for my brother. He was out there, and they killed him. And he died because of this street politics, you know what I mean? So Allah have mercy on him, man. But now my brother, he's past that. So when he got past all of this, you know what I mean? I kept telling him, you need to come to LA. You have to come to LA. Leave the street life. Because halas, you're going in and out of prison, leave the street life, you're going to die. So eventually I convinced him. He came to LA, he moved, and he opened up Platinum Cuts.
Dang.
Changed his life. Then he got into real estate. And now to this day, he's still in LA. He's clean. No more street life. Alhamdulillah, he also, that's what's up, bro.
Dang. That's how Platinum Cuts came about.
Yeah, bro.
With Doc, right?
With Doc. You know Doc. Yeah,
shout out to Doc.
Shout out to Doc. That's a funny dude, bro.
Yeah. Doc with the FBI story.
Yeah. For real.
Oh, shoot, yeah. Dang, that's crazy.
That's crazy, man. My brother really had it rough, you know.
Now, with your family, though, you're talking about your cousins and all that. Your cousin, which was the cousin that killed Gaddafi?
So my cousin who killed Gaddafi, may Allah have mercy on Gaddafi, is my cousin Roddy.
Yeah.
And that situation is very, you know, for many years I didn't talk about it, but when you have so many people on the internet just telling what they think is a side of a story, what they think was going on. First of all, when it happened, I was in Atlanta at Tupac mother house. You know what I mean? So I introduced Gaddafi to.
Before we start this, how'd you meet Gaddafi?
I met Gaddafi through his mother when we was both 7, 8 years old. You know, Gaddafi, Fatal, and Noble, they come from an area called Montclair. Montclair,
in Jersey, right?
It's Jersey, but it's considered the suburbs.
Oh, okay.
Even though they have one block, they have one block, and it's called New Street. That's why you always hear Fatal say New Street, Noble say New Street.
Noble says it
This is the bad block in the whole town, and it's Noble and all their friends. And But where we come from, I'm surrounded by nothing but killers, and this block is dangerous. This block. So when I met Gaddafi's mother and she took me over there, I felt like I was on a vacation. I'm not hearing
like
no police sirens.
Right?
Yeah, I felt like I was in a resort. Montclair was beautiful. It was the suburbs. I wasn't hearing no police sirens. I wasn't hearing no gunshots. Gaddafi, when he took me to the neighborhood, like a street, I was like, man, this, even though it's a hood, like this one, they only have one bad block. Like, man, I love to be around this. I'm
like
safe.
A Brady Bunch.
It was safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess they was the kids of like the parents who wanted to live in the suburbs. So they was the kids of the black parents who might have left Newark in the bad areas. So they all met up on this street called New Street. So coming from where I come from, Montclair was literally like Beverly Hills to Compton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure it's probably one bad street that you might see in Beverly Hills or whatever. Not even that. I come from the ghetto, the hood, Newark and Irvington. So Montclair was a peaceful area. So his mother, when she one day took me over there, I just felt like, wow. Like, I don't ever want to leave this place. So she introduced me to Gaddafi. I failed back then. I was like 7, 8 years old. And then we just kept in touch. Every once in a while, she would come get me. I begged my grandmother, like, please can she take me over there? And she'd take me to Montclair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now with that, your cousin.
So my cousin, so what happened after Tupac died, I went back to New Jersey. And Pac died in September. I went back to New Jersey. I got in some trouble. You know what I mean? And me and Gaddafi was on a mission. Like, we was on, like...
You guys were hustling.
And also, I don't even know if I want to say this because, you know, Gaddafi was a rider. I don't want to go into details, but I remember one day he called me like, Moo. You know what I mean? No. Like, I think somebody had jumped fatal. And Gaddafi's like, Moo, come with me. And I remember we strapped, Gaddafi was a rider. Gaddafi got out that car, lit the whole block up.
Yeah. Holy.
You know what I mean? And he was going through, Gaddafi was really affected by the death of Tupac more than any of us. Yeah. You got to understand, they grew up together, they was like this, you know what I mean? And pretty much cousins, brothers, you know what I mean? So what happened is Gaddafi, I introduced him to my cousin. You know, Gaddafi was like my best friend. Like, I love this dude. He brought me around, but even in the group, we was the closest. Yeah. But I introduced him to my cousin Roddy, and they formed their own relationship because back then, some of the youngsters in New Jersey, Irvington and North, they used to pop pills. I never was into that type of stuff. Gaddafi and my cousin Roddy realized they had something in common about popping pills. So they would come and hang with each other, pop pills, get high. That was their life. I never went with them because I wasn't in that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So what happened is I think, you know, Corrupt from the Dog Pound.
Yep.
He called me one day. He was in Philly. He's like, Moo, I'm coming to Irvington to see you. I'm coming to your block. Back then it wasn't no you can send directions. I had to tell him, do this, get off of this exit. He came on my block. I called Gaddafi, like, yo, Corrupt is in town. Last time we saw him, we was all on death row. So what happened is I said, Gaddafi, we coming to Montclair now. So we went to Montclair and went to Gaddafi block and we all chilling. Maybe 30, 40 homies from my block, my brothers, Gaddafi and them block, we all together. Then the police came.
Oh, damn.
And when the police came, Corrupt had 5-0 came, Corrupt had like big bags of weed in his car, and the cops said, who weed is this? And I was like, damn, man, he came to visit me. I don't want him to go to jail. So I said, it's my weed. And I went to jail. They locked me up. And Gaddafi and them crazy, they had Corrupt. This is a true story. Corrupt, he followed me on IG. He gonna know this real. So Corrupt was in the basement. Gaddafi kept whipping out the gun on him like, bruh, you better tell Snoop to send that bail money because like Corrupt laughing, but Gaddafi like, I'm telling you, Moo better get out of jail. Yeah. But what happened is because I think my brother Siki used my name and got arrested. So now they didn't give me a bail because they like, we need to know who, you know, you got another case. So I ended up staying 2 weeks in a small cell in Montclair. And while I was in there for them 2 weeks, now I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking. I'm realizing I'm looking at my life going down. There was another incident when I went back. Some dudes came around my block. You know what I mean? I mentioned this in my book. All of this was happening, bro, where I knew if I would have kept down this path, I would have been going. When I went back to Jersey, my block was beefing with another neighborhood. It kept coming out, pulling out guns. And I remember I used to have jewelry that Pac gave me, so I always hid it. And then I just got tired of it one day. You know, grabbed a gun from my cousin Reef. They came. I dumped on them. Doom, 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 doom. Nobody died, though. But then while I'm in the prison, I mean, not even prison, Stackford a lot. That's not prison, it's a cell. It's like an apartment.
While you're in jail,
while I'm in jail waiting, I'm thinking like, wait a minute. What if I would have killed somebody? Like literally, like I'm just on songs with Pac 3 months ago. I'm back on the block. I'm shooting at individuals for what? Like, what if I would have killed? So I'm thinking, like, what if I killed somebody? Like, do I want to throw my life away? And then I'm realizing, why am I even in a cell? Like, I'm locked up for weed. But I did that for corrupt because I felt like since you my guest, you come to visit me, I just can't sit back and watch him go to jail. That's the type of person I am. But then I'm thinking of everything. I'm like, I come back to a neighborhood that's warring to the point that I grabbed the gun and shot at somebody and
almost you possibly could have killed somebody.
They didn't die. You know, one of them, you know, got hit, but they didn't die. Yeah. And then, or like before that, they jumping out with shotguns on me. So I got tired of it. I was like, you know what, man? When I get out of this, I'm getting the hell out of Jersey. Jersey is cursed. That's how I look at it. I said, Jersey is cursed. You know what I mean? I'm already going backwards. I'm already on the block. These dudes selling drugs. I'm carrying a gun again. I'm getting the hell out of this. So when I got out, I said, Gaddafi, bro, let's go. I said, man, bro, we gonna ruin our lives here. And Gaddafi's, all right, Mo, you go. I'm gonna meet you. So I went to Atlanta. I'm in Pac house, Pac mother house. We went back with her, and I get a call. We get a call. I remember Castro answered the phone. And he was like, Gaddafi just got shot. I think maybe 30 minutes later, they called back and said it was MUTAH cousin. Bro, imagine that. Like, Gaddafi, first of all, I'm in Pac house. Pac mother is still like Gaddafi's aunt. Yeah. Castro is his cousin. And my cousin do it. My cousin did it. So, bro, I broke down crying. Like, because I know it's a possibility because I know my cousin Roddy, he always have a gun on him. So I cannot say like, nah, that's not, my cousin Roddy won't do that. I know the possibility. He's a dude that's always strapped. Yeah. So what happened is now I go back to Jersey. My cousin is on the run. The homies in my neighborhood, they don't really want to tell me where he's at because they know Mu loyalty probably is going to be with Pac and Gaddafi. So eventually they showed me where he was at. He was in the projects in Irvington. And I went to him. I was like, bro, what happened? So this is where the controversy come when you hear, you know, his mother is upset with me because I believe this statement of my cousin. My cousin said, look, I was high. I pointed the gun to him. Another friend of ours named Kaz put him in a headlock. And the gun went off. Pow. So this is what my cousin said. He said, but I'm telling you, it was an accident. My cousin was 15 years old at this time. So even though he told me it was an accident, I also did something that's against street codes by saying all the homies around me. I said, man, you got to turn yourself in. I said, because I can't harm my own cousin. You know what I mean? I was raised as like he was my brother. So I said, but you still got to turn yourself in, bro. You got to face some type of responsibility because you took the life of Gaddafi. Even if it was an accident, you're going to have to face some type of responsibility. Yeah. So a war was about to pop off really from our block and A block, even though it would have been bad because it would have been bad. You know what I mean? It definitely would have been bad. And another controversy, I didn't go to the funeral, which hurt me to this day, but it got to the point where it was words from his homies, words from my homie. And when one of the dudes from my neighborhood said, no, you're going to go to the funeral. I said, okay, let's go. He said, but I'm telling you right now, we all going to be strapped. When somebody say something to you, we just going to pull a gun to him and walk him outside. When I heard that, I was like, man, I can't go to my man's funeral like this.
Yeah, exactly.
But then the people turned it around. Oh, he ain't even go to the funeral. His mother also said don't go because she thought maybe something will happen. Maybe one of his homies would have probably tried to do something which would have been very bad. You know what I mean? But for me to say if I can stop something from happening at the funeral, then I'm not going to go. But then once again, they threw it on me. He didn't even come to the funeral. He took the side of his cousin. First of all, I don't take the side of my cousin. You understand? I love Gaddafi like my brother. I was in Atlanta when he got shot. So it's like I have nothing to do with this.
Exactly.
But so the outsiders don't know what I went through. The outsiders don't know that I'm the one who made my cousin and my grandfather go to the hotel room. I'm not sure if Gaddafi's mother was there, but Tupac mother was there. I made them go to them and say, you turning yourself in. I think Pac's sister was there as well. So people don't see this side. They see the emotional, which I get his mother. I get it, you know what I mean? I would never say nothing bad about her. I get where she's coming from. But when people, you know, have these posts to make it seem like I'm part of it, bro, first of all, I have never been a snake where I stabbed anybody in their back. And I would never hide something. I always stand on principles. I would never, you know what I mean? If I know for a fact my cousin, if he would have said, yeah, I done it, and he would have told me it wasn't a mistake, I would have been riding with Gaddafi family. But when my cousin said, Mu, it's a mistake, I'm still upset on my cousin. But I said, bro, you're going to have to face some type of responsibility. So unfortunately, that's the situation, man. You know what I mean?
No, but I mean, I think you did right. I mean,
for sure.
In the situation you're in, because you got both your families.
For sure.
You know, you got that family and then your blood family.
Of course.
And you weren't taking sides. You're actually being neutral.
I'm being in the middle, but people don't see that, man. People
it was an accident,
you know what I mean?
but you did pull the trigger.
He pulled the trigger.
So therefore, you gotta take responsibility.
But people don't see that. That's even going against some of the street codes. When my homies looking at me like, man, move.
You should have protected your blood, you know?
Yeah, like why you telling him to do this and that? But I was like, no, Gaddafi is my brother, bro. You're going to have to face responsibility. You can't kill Gaddafi and say it's an accident and all of a sudden you running from house to house.
And think you're free and nothing's going to happen. Yeah.
And he did it. You know what I mean? So...
Because in a way, you saved him. And you brought justice for Gaddafi.
For sure.
You know, and I give you mad props for that.
You know, so it was one of them type of situations, man. So people that know, you know what I mean? Like, it never, I was like Fatal in them. That's my homie up until he died. You got to remember, they come from Montclair, I come from Irvington. It was I don't know about Montclair now.
Yeah.
I don't know if but we used to go, this is an area we used to go literally and chase the guys up there. We come from the hood, they come from one street. So if a war would have popped off, it would have been bad, most likely at that time for them.
Absolutely.
We was already having AK-47s in our neighborhood. So even back then, I wasn't Muslim, but I'm still thinking, how can I not let this go? Yeah. How can I not let it go out of proportion? You know what I mean? I'm still talking to my brothers and our cousins, and I'm like, man, no, leave them alone. You know what I mean? Like these Gaddafi boys, I know them, don't go to Jersey. Like they was ready, homies was ready to go to Montclair and on offensive. Instead of waiting till somebody come, but I'm in the middle. They don't see this. See, people don't know. I'm sitting in the middle arguing with people from my neighborhood. You know what I mean? Telling them, why would y'all do that, this and this and that? And he's like, well, they call and threaten us. They call and threaten Roddy, so we going to go. Like I'm arguing with my cousin Reeve. They don't see that. But on the internet, people were saying that my family was threatening witnesses and things like that. So even if my family was threatening witnesses, I'm not part of that. You know what I mean? I'm in Atlanta with Pop Mons. If my family is threatening witnesses, I'm not part of that. This stuff, wallahi, Allah is my witness. That's happened without my knowledge. You know what I mean? All of these things I heard later when Gaddafi mother said, well, your family was threatening witnessing. You know, wallahi, I swear by God, bro, I didn't know none of that stuff. They kept all of that from me. You know what I mean? All of that was hidden from me to the point that they was hiding my cousin from me. Until eventually they said, you know what? We're going to show you where he at. They was like, no, Moo, you can't know where he at. Like, it was on that. But, you know, so it's so it put me in a very bad situation because Gaddafi mother, a sweet woman, like, took care of me from the beginning when she met me. Like, she treated me so good. Like, coming from Irvington and taking me to Montclair was like a vacation spot.
And she helped you with your music career. She's the one
She helped me with everything. You know what I mean?
The reason she wanted to connect us with Tupac.
Exactly. She did everything. So it's hard. It's sad that she won't talk to me or she's upset. I understand her. Like, I'm not trying to be to the point where I'm saying, well, why? Because she lost her son. So I understand 100%. You know what I mean? It's just an unfortunate situation. It's not, Gaddafi cannot come back. You know what I mean? I had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, a sweet woman like her, you know, I have no conversation with her anymore. You know what I mean? What can I do? And she said to me that the only way, you know what I mean, is if I admit that my cousin killed him. Like, but I can't. You know, she said, when you get up and you say it's an accident, I want you to get up and say he killed him. I can't do that because I wasn't there, one. You know what I mean? I'm going off of what my cousin told me. And at the end, Allah knows best. Allah truly knows what happened. You know what I mean? So it's an unfortunate situation.
Dang. But how's your cousin? Is he out or what happened?
My cousin, he got out. I think he did 6-7 years. In and out of prison, going back to prison, in and out of prison. Then they locked him up. I would say he's been locked up for 5-6 years now. They locked him up for some other crimes. You know what I mean? Yeah. They locked him up for some other crimes where I think they gave him about 30 years in prison.
Dang.
And
so yeah, he's still in there then.
He's still in there. Now he's back in there. And now finally my cousin realizing how crazy and messed up he was living his life. Now he's like, you know what? I finally became Muslim. I'm studying Islam every day. Now he realized that.
Now he's at peace.
Now he's at peace, but now he's in prison. Now he's locked up. You know what I mean? But it's an unfortunate situation. You know what I mean?
Thank God Mooney and Camille, they're able to get out of that.
Yeah, so my brother Camille is doing good. He live in Northern California. He's married. Mooney doing good. You know what I mean? Live in Southern Cali.
I didn't talk to Camille though. He be liking the
Camille,
same type.
Camille crazy.
He likes the same type of shoes I like. I be commenting on that.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey,
Camille or Mooney? No, you mean Mooney.
No, Camille.
He don't really post.
No, Mooney.
Yeah, Mooney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. Shout out to Mooney.
Camille is my youngest brother. Mooney,
Yeah.
my older brother. You know what I mean? But me and Mooney only 11 months apart, so we grew up like twins almost.
Yeah, he
You know
looked
what I
like you
mean?
too.
Yeah,
or
we look
actually,
alike.
or you look like him. I don't know what to say.
And that dude was crazy growing
yeah,
up.
but he'd be.
I think he had to fight every day. I'm not exaggerating. Every day he went outside just to fight people.
Yeah. Shout out to Mooney.
Now he be fighting people on his Instagram. I keep deleting his comments on my Instagram because he be going crazy on people, man.
Yeah, I'll be commenting on his Instagram too. Yeah. Hey, those are my shoes. Don't be taking my shoes. Like
man.
he got good taste.
Yeah, for
Mooney,
sure,
you got
for
good
sure.
taste. We got the same kind of taste.
Definitely.
Herbie,
man.
get your vaccine and come out here. Come on.
Yeah, get your vaccine,
Dang.
man. Come out here, bro.
Hey.
So that's crazy, man.
So dang, that's crazy though.
It's the crazy.
Everybody's
life, bro.
been asking about that too on the Gaddafi and your
I
cousin
never really got to
situation.
really go into details because I didn't want to push. You know, it's difficult for his mother. Every time I post about it, you know, you got devils and snakes. Like you got people, and I'm sure they probably even pretended to be my followers, and might be even people I know. I call them devils because as soon as I talk about it, they automatically send it to her as if they want to make problems. You know what I mean? And then she get upset. So for a while I didn't talk to him, but I also have a right to speak on my side because on the internet everybody's saying it. So I have a right to speak on from my side of view. You know what I mean? From my point of view. So and I hope after this I will clear it. I'll never speak about it again. You know what I mean? It's cleared on this podcast show, and that's it.
Done. All right.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, man. So yeah. Oh, I forgot to give out a shout out to Chadwick Boseman. You know, how do you say it? Instead of saying rest in peace, you guys say
if they're
Allah
Muslim,
have mercy on his soul?
if they're Muslim, we say Allah Yuhammad. If they not Muslim,
Allah
we
have
leave that up
mercy
to
on his soul.
Allah.
Yeah.
We as Muslims can't say it, but we just leave it up to God. You know what I mean? But you Christian, you can say
I can
RIP.
say it. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. You know that was one real dude though.
The Black Panther actor.
Yeah, you know he had cancer the whole time, and he was going through chemotherapy and all that, and he was hurt and sick, and he was still acting. To the very last, breath, Yeah.
And dedicated to what he.
Shout out to Denzel Washington because he was a silent contributor. Because Howard was it Howard University? Too Big Chris, was it Howard University they went to?
Too Big.
Yeah,
Chris.
right. It was Howard. So
we're gonna have to bring one day. We're gonna say Too Big Chris.
Everybody's like, who's Too Big Chris?
He might take over the whole camera.
Yeah, he won't fit in the camera. You only see one part of his muscle in the whole camera. We know.
Mashallah.
He got into this program where they get to go to Cambridge in the UK to the acting school.
Okay, Denzel Washington.
And he paid for Chadwick Boseman's tuition to go there. But as a silent, like nobody knew.
Yeah. Denzel Washington,
so,
legend, bro.
Yeah, he's one of the goats.
He's an OG with
He's one of my favorite.
Shout out to the
actors,
homie
too.
Bone, because Bone is a good friend of mine. I remember he was in Training Day.
Yeah.
He'd come to us every day. Like I was just when Denzel he's solid.
Yeah.
He told me that movie because a lot of people don't know in Training Day they really was
In the hood.
filmed in the jungle in the hood.
Yeah, that little hood part.
The jungles. But Bone was telling us what was happening. Bone was like, when we rode up in the hood, the homies was like, y'all can't shoot here unless y'all pay us.
Yeah.
Bone said he had to say, okay, look here, man. And Denzel Washington in the trailer, and the whole set had to shut down because the Bloods from the jungles, the gangsters got up and said, hold on, we shutting everything down. Where our money at? Like, y'all coming to our turf, y'all coming filming this. And Bone was like, look, bro, half of them people that you saw with Bone at the end, them Bloods, them really blood members.
Yeah, they're real.
So Bone was like, I'm coming to get back. I'm trying to give, I'm giving the homies acting jobs so they won't be in the street. This can launch their career. But it was a few dudes like, no, that ain't happening. So Bone said, he was like, look here then. Let's settle it this way. We fight. If I win, we film. If you win, we pack up. So Bone told me, he said, man, he had to fight like three big, like some of the OGs.
OGs, yeah.
And he won, and they was able to film the jungles there. And he gave people jobs. So he was really trying to,
he was
take
really trying to better the community.
He better community.
Shout out to Bones.
Bone, shout out Bone. Hey, Bone, I'm going to get you on a podcast show.
Yeah, let's do it. Come through.
It's my homie right there.
And definitely shout out to Michael B. Jordan because he played
from
Killmonger.
Newark. Yeah, I know he's from Newark. That's the only reason I want to shout him out. And I think he's a good actor, but he's from Newark. He's from the hood. He's from the city. He's from my city.
But yeah, aside from that, for all our viewers, I want to know where all our viewers are from. I know we have people from all over. We have people from
because
Amsterdam.
you watching, you keeping note to all of that.
Australia,
like,
they all
dope.
commenting. So
dope.
For this episode on YouTube, the full episode, I want you guys to comment. Where are you guys from? talk
For
to
sure.
us.
Let us know where y'all from, man. Who knows? We might come up. We might be in your city.
Yeah, like we
do a podcast show there. You know what I mean? We popping up now.
Yeah.
We moving on up.
Our next episode, we're not shooting here. We're going to shoot on location. See. I'm not going to say anything else more. But
real talk, bro.
Yeah, we got a special surprise for you guys coming up next episode.
Next episode.
Yeah, all right.
All right, peace, bro.
Yeah, we out.
All right. All right.
I got to end it like that.
You got to end it with that,
We out.
That was dope.
Yeah.
That was dope. It was heavy, though.
Yeah.